To Australia, please welcome him to the stage, Mr. Paul Moore. Let some feeling go.
I did. I grew up here and then I emigrated to Australia. But I'll be doing my best. What do they call it in England when they pronounce things properly?
Enunciation.
Enunciation. I'll be enunciating. I'm afraid I have to read because I haven't learned these. But before I do, this is my T-34 Tank Commander's hat. So, I'm going to pass this around and we'd like you to put in whatever you can put in. So if you're poor, just a tiny wee bit of money. And if you're rich, give us everything. Thank you.
That's just not for performers though. Just anybody who's watching. Just trying to make that clear.
Who's it for?
Alright, so these are very short wee stories. This first one was a long story, but then I entered it in a flash fiction competition, and it's been whittled down to, just let me look, 245 words. This is set near where I grew up in a few places in Ireland, but it's set down near Shannon, and it's because I get tired of the Irish government pretending to be a neutral state. It's called Romance. Climbing the tower to Bunready Castle, Siobhan held Kevin's hand firmly. The newlyweds reached the turret and looked out over the dark fields through which the River Shannon wound silver in the moonlight. Siobhan gazed into the night sky. "Which star is ours?" she asked. As Kevin tried to find the brightest, she let out a cry. "That one! It's a shooting star!" Kevin laughed. "That's not a star, sweetie. That's a plane coming into the airport." On board the plane, Azar's hands were shackled behind his back. Around his ankles, he wore thick iron bands. He had a canvas hood. He had trouble breathing. In all, 47 men were in a kneeling position. Several US Marines ensured they remained so. In an unknown location in Egypt, an interrogator selected pliers and a Stanley knife. 2 Western intelligence officers handed him a list of questions and silently left the room. The mountainous region round Bodandi, near the Afghan-Pakistan border, is rugged. Here a boy searches for his father, and as the boy's hope ebbs away, his father's body. He will find neither. At night he holds his younger sister close, soothing her as she weeps. And in Dublin, diplomats and politicians attend the theatre, ballet and dinner parties. They relax in Georgian houses, keep their curtains drawn and sleep in warm beds. Siobhan squeezed Kevin's hand. No, it's a falling star, it's ours." She kissed him. Make a wish, make a wish. That's... A lot of what I write is about Ireland now. Coming back to Ireland makes me sort of look at it and, I write down what I see. This one's called All Around You, and some of you may have heard bits of it. We performed bits of it in Derry 24 for the City of Culture. I performed bits of it at a rally against racism in the Guildhall, and we will be performing another bit of it. This is what I do with stuff I write. I just move it around the place. In Home, which is coming up at the Waterside in July. Bit of an ad. So, come along. Declan was always provocative, raising eyebrows and attracting fists. And so it came as no small surprise when he turned up at the Sinn Féin election launch with an orange and purple sash slung around his neck. A joke of sorts, although the genuine article borrowed from a friend on the Waterside. His outstretched arm would be ignored all evening, and so too the scrawled note he left in the suggestion box, destined for the bin, along with a Mars bar wrapper and an empty packet of fags. On this folded sheet of A4 paper, Dec had written, "Manifesto for a New Ireland," and continued. "King Billy was Dutch, King James a Brit, the Pope is Argentinian and Jesus was a Jew. And the Irish people have always been distinguished by their jet black hair, their flame red hair, their brown or their blonde hair, their bright blue eyes, their deep brown eyes, their olive skins and their pale complexions. Aye, in every street and across the centuries, the Irish have been a feisty mongrel race, a migrant people. Consider this. Ireland will be renamed all around you and define its borders as being within a 50-metre radius of wherever you find yourself standing. For too long we've rebelled against one flag only to wrap ourselves in another. We'll have no flag but the sky. Our anthem will be whatever our children hum. The capital of all around you will exist only in dreams and so be impervious to invasion. Hence we require no army. Our air force will be comprised of the kites we fly in the summer breeze. Religion will be predominantly animist. We worship the land, the rocks, the mountains, the trees, and we look after them accordingly. Our native tongue will be poetry, spoken softly with an accent of song. All around you welcomes refugees from every land and is proud to offer them a home and care. Our major export will be non-processed hope that we will manufacture through conversion of the bad faith we've laid down over centuries. We will be proud and humble and seek to move beyond ideas of the other. Black, white, boy, girl, up, down, gay, straight, Protestant, Catholic, Sunni, Shia, heaven and hell. Finally, our police force will be armed with philosophy and required to wear red noses. Declan wrapped his coat around himself, he giggled and stepped from the centre into the night. A group of a dozen or so young men and women watched as he set off towards the town. They waited until Dec's figure disappeared between the streetlights and then began to run. In the darkness, they started with fists, then boots and stilettos. Ah, Declan, lying in a ditch with the cold, dark Irish earth all around you. Thank you.